Mr. Chairman will not get us there.
Chairman. Senator Lole-Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I rise on behalf of the party who takes pride in its good judgment of genuine practical policies that help address the social security issues of this country, New Zealand. That party is New Zealand First, of course. Mr. Chair, allow me to say that when people try to tell me how bad things are right now, I must say that I have to say, tell that to the National Party, tell that to the Minister of Social Development, tell that to Paula Bennett, and of course, especially Pesetalo Tuiinga, who chairs the Social Services Select Committee. Because those are the people who had ignored 99% of the submitters who opposed the bill. The bill is being sold to the people of New Zealand using the phrase transform the benefit system into one that is modern, active and work-focused for adults and education-focused for young people. I want to acknowledge the Minister for her efforts in acknowledging that this is an issue in our country of Aotearoa. I want to acknowledge her for that. One thing I know for sure, though, is that the intention behind this bill is a good idea. However, with any good idea, it must have good strategies to implement for its successful outcomes or for the successful delivery in order to achieve the best outcomes. Part 1 of this bill focuses on substantive provisions taking effect on 30th July, now 20th of August, and in other words, as soon as possible. It also means that time management and organisational skills is probably not high on the Minister's agenda, I must say. National intends to rush this through without informing the public, especially those individuals that will be affected, from this bill about the changes. And we know the aims of the bill is to provide services to encourage and help young persons to move into education, training, employment, and receiving financial support under this Act. The interpretation of contracted service provider, which is Section 125A, Part 1, and Section 123E, which is under the Part 1 of this bill, is extremely broad and allows for any party that can be seen to assist in the aim of this bill to be contracted. So we do have a concern in this area. If we are to allow these third parties to be contracted to provide services, surely there also needs to be put into place ways to assess and test these service providers' work and performance. Sufficient audits and safeguards needs to be put in place to ensure that these service providers are actually assisting young people into employment and into training, proper training, that is. It is admirable that we spend money and young people spend time with these providers. But at the end of the day, if there are no jobs, this whole operation fails. There is an apprehension of these service providers, that is, these service providers are even competent enough. That's the question we need to ask. Are they competent enough in providing helpful services? And what will make these services any different to someone sitting on a desk at WINS today telling a young person to go on the website and check seek.co.nz for a job? What's the difference? Knowing fully well that there are thousands of others in the same position. To encourage and help young persons to move into education, training, employment is a very broad definition. To encourage and help, well, what defines encourage and to help? Is another question. To move into education, training and employment, to reiterate, and they will be contracting these services providers, I'm just wondering whether, are we looking at not to train young people, not to educate young people, nor to employ young people, but to encourage and help? Mr. Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'll start at Grant Robertson.
Oh.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I wanted to refer back to the youth services model that's established